let's say
Right.
studying English in your institution, and the students are sent by their parents, or they come with their willingness or whatever. The reason that they are there is because in the future that they believe that they are gonna get something,
Mhm. Right.
right? So it's kind
Right.
of investment for them.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
of course it can fail.
Yeah, no, that's right. That they're there, and it's very interesting. And I'm well, I'm glad that I have a job and I do my best
Mhm.
for them, but the parents have their incentive
Mhm.
can change everything, because it
Yeah.
depending on whether they're focused on them being a better English speaker. But then of course a lot of them they're fixated on that ridiculous school
Mm.
score that
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
Koreans
yeah,
are
yeah,
fixated on.
yeah.
So
It's their competition. It's parents'
yeah,
competition.
competition. Yeah, a lot of it.
Yeah,
Yeah. But no, what's
yeah.
so interesting about that though, something that I learned in this industry, because some people have an attitude in the form of, okay, you don't want to do this, then goodbye. I only want to correspond with people who are motivated, who want to learn, blah, blah, blah. But I've learned, and this is kind of in contrast to what you and I
Mhm.
spoke about when we kind of gave school the tag of being in like
Prison.
a federal institution,
Yeah,
aka
yeah, yeah.
prison.
Right. Yeah.
Um, what I've learned, and because I actually I was on board with you when you're talking about that. I Many of the things you
Mhm.
were saying, because I had a horrible time in school too. But if you had the perfect environment, and if you had instructors who were very nurturing and big-hearted, then maybe the mandatory service can benefit them. Because what I've learned is that if they have to be there through the mandatory attitude of their parents, then I'm going to I'm going to design pleasantries for what they're forced to do. And because at the end of the day, we all need a kick some to do some things. Like, I'm terrible at cleaning. My apartment is always disgusting, but when my son visits, I have to clean. And so that's something. So there's these things where we need people to kind of persuade us.
Yeah. When there's need, we do it. That's
Mhm.
what I noticed.
Right.
You and me or other people, when they have certain need, they do it for their own benefits,
Right.
or like in your case, you wanna show to your son that yeah, you are a father, you are the
Mhm.
father,
Mhm.
and so for that reason you do that. Uh,
Right. Even though he
yeah.
thinks I'm a filthy pig, but yeah, he actually said if your students saw your apartment, they wouldn't believe you're a teacher. He said so.
Yeah,
Uh,
but that doesn't matter. Well, when I was in the Philippines,
mhm.
I paid like around between 70 and 12 $120 for a
Mhm.
maid. She did all the cleaning, she did
Okay.
all the
Okay.
laundry, she did all the washing dishes,
Yes. Wow. Wow.
she did everything, she
Yes.
cooked. So I started, I mean, my mother always told me that I have to do this and that, and she cared about that aspects of being tidy,
Mhm.
and but because I had made, nobody scolded me to do
Right.
such thing,
Sure. Sure. Sure.
and
Yes.
I had to focus on my thing only,
Right.
and I basically bought someone's time and labor with the
Right.
money,
Right.
and I was able to use that time that I I bought from someone. I didn't need
Yes.
to spend that time, right? They
Mhm.
basically I bought time
Right.
from her, and then
Right.
she accepted my money,
Sure.
and so I was able to do something more meaningful,
Sure.
and I invested in some investments. I went out looking for houses, and I bought one cheap, very at the time very cheap one. Uh, uh, yeah, so I was able to do many things because of her,
Mhm.
uh, and we all can do that. We have to just do some research, and we should buy more time actually
Right.
from other people. Yeah.
That's yeah. Yeah. That's that's uh that's a good point, because and the thing is, we all have deficits. We all have things that we're not good at. And
And
in
in
those
your,
cases,
you know what, in your case, the owners, you talked about the owners. I
Mhm.
forgot her name. She bought time from you because she was supposed to provide that service as the business owner, because she's the one who receives the money from the customers,
Mhm.
and then with that money she bought time from you,
Right.
and
Right.
you are selling your time to her,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Right. 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 Yeah. No, that's true. And that's what business owners do.
Yeah,
They
they buy time.
they buy, but not only do they buy time, but they they buy people
Res-
that are going
yeah,
to do all of the work for them, so that the business runs automatically.
yeah, so they buy time as well as they buy labor,
Yes.
and
Yes.
someone's skill, and skill requires a lot of time basically,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So that's also another time, because let's say I want to build a website, a functional website, but then it requires a certain programming language, which
Right.
is called PHP, and I
Mhm.
don't have idea about PHP, and to learn PHP it might take a year or more, or it
Right.
may take 3 months. I don't know, but
Right.
why should I spend that time
Right.
if I can find someone who will accept just like $800 and who will do the job for me and
Right.
working 8 hours a day.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Yes.
we can always do research, and we can always find either it's labor, skill, time. We can always buy it from someone else.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
a lot of people, instead of buying, they sell.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's something that's difficult for me to do in Korea, because it's hard to get people. Well, especially for me in Korea, I'm
You can do
fundamentally an
that.
employee. Yeah, I could. You know
You
what? I
can do
feel
that.
like I can do
It
that if I was in
you
Itaewon. If I
you
was,
you
if my
can you
location was in
yeah,
Itaewon.
just like what you mentioned. If the
Mhm.
location was Itaewon, you could do that.
Yes.
That means there are thousands of other ways to do that.
Right. Right.
You are only thinking about one or two, but there
Right.
are
Sure.
thousands or millions of
Thousands.
ways that you haven't
Yes.
figured out.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can do that. It's just that you have to do research. You have to figure it
Yes.
out.
Right. Right. That's
How
right.
could I do that? Yeah,
Right.
I what I can say is that there are some good developers in Korea.
Mhm.
Many
Mhm.
high skill, high level, good
Mhm.
developers. And in Canada, some corporations. You said they are like when it comes to technology, they are quite backward, right,
Right.
compared to
Right.
Korea.
Right.
You can approach some of those corporations, call them, do you need this technology? I can
Right.
provide you.
Mhm.
And then you can contact with some of the great workers in Korea who are going to do it for maybe, let's say, 3,000, 4,000. But if they go to Canada, they may need to get paid 20,000. You can hire those, you can actually get paid first, and with that money you can give them later,
Right.
and telling them that I need this, and I will
Mhm.
give it to when you guys build it, I will give it to my Canadian company.
Right.
And you get
Right.
paid from the Canadian company and give them, and the rest is going to be your money,
Right.
right?
Right.
You can do that. It's just
Yeah,
how you think.
it's just how you think and how you organize your thoughts, and
Right.
yeah, there's a lot of
Possibilities out there.
possibility out there, so many possibility, and you just have to be a forward thinker and
Yeah.
think outside the box to
Right.
make that come to fruition.
Yeah, I'm sure some of those developers, when they go to US or Canada, they will probably get paid like 3 or 5 times more than
Right.
what they are getting paid in Korea,
Yeah, they
simply
would.
because
They
we
would.
have crazy competition in Korea.
Yes.
So
Yes.
even though they are skilled developers, they don't get paid well, and you
Right.
can use those people, and you can help them.
Right.
Yeah, and then you can also help the corporations in Canada, your country.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that it would be it's another thing that I always cogitated over and wanted to have some sort of a system where I was in Canada, Korea, back and forth. But that's something I was always thinking of. But I did do the back and forth on airplane when my son was very young, when I was working in the oil industry, and that's actually pretty shitty, going through the airports all the time. But what we're doing now, I would just rather do something involving data and something on the internet and choose
Right.
my location. Like that's
Right. Yeah.
now that is the new
Yeah.
inspiration,
Right.
rather than
Yeah.
having to be,
Yeah.
because I mean,
Yeah. Right.
there's not really a constituency anymore for a person to be back and forth because of
Right.
Zoom
Exactly.
and because
Yeah.
of the internet.
Exactly.
They don't really
Exactly.
have that constituency anymore.
Exactly. And because of COVID,
And because of COVID, yeah.
people are now more open for this type of remote work.
Yes.
It's going
Yes.
to be, it's going to stay with us even
Yes.
after COVID is gone.
Mhm.
This is going to stay with us. And one thing that I can tell you is that when the whole thing is shifting, basically the whole industry is shifting from analog, manufacturing industry to digital industry.
Yes.
Everything is becoming digital,
Mhm.
and it's probably still early moving to this IT, because in the future it's not gonna be we are actually shifting, but the whole world will be already shifted,
Right.
and everybody's, probably most people will be just working online, and then mostly working for the digital industry.
Yes.
uh, no more for these kind of the old jobs that
Right.
we had, like you
Mhm.
mentioned about the truck thing.
Right.
When there's a software that can do the job, that software will do the job for 24 hours without resting.
Right.
No,
Oh,
no one can
you mean
compete.
for self-driven trucks?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that what you mean?
self-driven
Okay.
trucks.
Right. Right. Right.
And when the company charges, let's say 10,000 from those
Mhm.
corporations, the
Right.
corporations will choose 10,000 because the
Yes.
software will work twice more than human beings.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So do you think that makes the job market for people vulnerable, or does that just mean that we are going to digress into the digital industry and there will still
Digital.
be, so there will still be
There's gonna be so
opportunity,
many more jobs in
more
digital
jobs?
industry,
Wow,
a lot
wow,
more
wow,
jobs than today
wow, wow.
available. And
Incredible.
what I see, that another change is that we had slavery in the past.
Mhm.
Everywhere in the world, Korea had slavery, China had slavery, the US, Europe,
Mhm.
everywhere in Africa, we all had slavery. But slavery didn't work so well compared to employment.
Right,
Employment system was working a lot better. So
right.
that's why we shifted everything from slavery to employment, not because we were kind.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a big one. That's
it's
a
just it
big
works
one.
better.
So you know what? What you just said right now is so powerful that we have to make and we have to, maybe in the next couple days, because we'll think about it, we're going to make a segment on this, because
Yeah.
I think people that what you just said, it's not what you said, is not, it's not controversial. People would appreciate that, because that is a really courageous truth, and scary. It's scary
Yeah.
because what you are indicating is that if slavery worked more efficiently or as efficient as employment, then it would still be
Yeah.
existential
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
and that's a big statement.
Yeah.
A big statement. So
Yeah.
we're definitely, that you have a
Yeah.
very prosperous opinion on that, and we're gonna have to dedicate a segment
Yeah.
just to
I
that.
I
So,
just wanna finish this whole thing.
sure.
The employment is gonna be old thing in the future. The new thing
Okay.
is already with us. That is location free and time free based work. Koreans call it platform workers,
Okay.
like Uber drivers.
Right. Right.
Yeah, like now there's also like a lot of English tutors that I meet online. They all work home. They work at even um, like in a different country. They
Yes.
switch country from there to there, like,
Mhm.
so that's another type of online working, like a platform worker. They are working
Right.
for a certain platform.
Right.
And there's a website called Fiverr.com, and
Mhm.
there are a lot of platform workers there. They are doing the design. They build a website for other people. um, they do a lot of things like translating. I'm sure you visited that website and you
I never,
checked
I
out
don't visit any
Fiverr,
website. Okay.
Fiverr.com. I told you to
Okay.
go that
Oh,
website
then
and
I
find a
probably did.
logo design.
If you told me to, I probably looked at it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
so that and so it's it's happening combination with globalization. And
Right.
globalization means in the future the wage of people in, let's say, in India,
Mhm.
and as long as they are skillful and as long as they are expert at something, they are
Right.
gonna get paid as much as someone who's working in Silicon Valley.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I want to make a comparison here, because what you just said is
This is not
very
employment. This is
provoking.
the
That
platform
is
working for platform.
platform worker.
Yeah.
So when I
This is
was,
the
it's
new
something,
shift.
Canada had something cool in their school system called the IB program. And
Mm-hmm.
what was unique about the IB program, because America didn't have this. So if you were from a gangster neighborhood in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago and you were a genius, then you would fall between the cracks
Mm-hmm.
because you don't go to the good school. So what
Yeah,
Canada
right.
did, Canada implemented the IB program. So
Mm-hmm.
every school in the whole country. If you were smart enough, you would be in an IB class
Oh,
within that school. And that's a little bit corresponding to what you said about the India workers
yeah,
and the workers in Silicon
yeah,
Valley,
yeah,
because
yeah,
if
yeah.
they
Right,
have the
right.
skill
Yeah,
set, their
yeah,
location
yeah,
is inconsequential.
yeah,
It's all
yeah,
about the skill
yeah,
set.
yeah, yeah. As I
And
said,
that's
working for the platform is it's location free and time free.
in time
Time
free.
free means
Oh
you
my
can
God.
choose your time when to
Yes.
work, and location free you can be anywhere.
Amazing. So when do you
Yeah,
think that will really start to circulate within the world?
it's already happening, and
It's
COVID
already happening.
basically brought it to us.
Right.
So, but it's going to take time, just like the slavery in
Yes.
the southern area of the U.S.
Mhm.
Um, they didn't want to give up because simply they bought some slaves.
Right.
Let's say, like you bought slave at the price of like a 35,000, and
Right.
then the government says to you, you have to just let him go. Then
Right.
you will of course respond to the government. Then give
Right.
me 35,000.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the government says no, no. Well, it's a bad thing. We can't do it.
Right. Right.
So that's why they had war between the
Mhm.
South and the North. Of course, the North won.
Mhm.
Uh, um, and so yeah, it's same thing with employment. So we see employment everywhere still. Like it's still the majority of activities to make money.
Right.
What majority of people doing is having an employment.
Mhm.
Uh, so it's not gonna go away that quickly. It's going to take at least a few decades.
A few
Um,
decades.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's a little bit out of our
But
jurisdiction of time.
I'm not sure it can happen within a decade.
I mean, that would
Um,
be so awesome if it happened within a decade, because the world is so upended now that I kind of want to partake in this whole data online thing. And the thing is
mhm,
with me, I'm one of those people that I have a lot of energy that I don't know what to do with, because
mhm,
I'm right now I'm underemployed. There's things I
mhm,
want to do that I can't
mhm,
do. So if I had more occasion to do these things, I would seize every occasion.
mhm,
I would not,
mhm,
wouldn't let anything slip. But if I was a platform worker
mhm.
predominantly, my life would be
Yeah,
so much better. So,
right.
and
You
you
can
too,
basically choose your time. Yeah,
choose, and I would
in my
choose a lot of
case,
time.
yeah, in my case, since my age 25, as 26, I decided to be self, I mean, boss for my own business,
Sure.
and I chose at first. Um, I had an office, and then the workers came there, and then I thought it sucked. They didn't need to be there actually thinking about it. So I told everyone to go online and work online, and I will just pay you more because I don't need to pay for the office, and you guys will be happier probably. And let's do it. And some of them, it sounds better, but some of them still said, uh, I don't think it sounds appealing to me. I can't take it anyway. And my parents won't agree with my decision.
Oh.
So half of them quit, half of them
Oh.
decided to remain and try this online thing. So that was already 10 years ago. Now it's probably much easier because many people can see the benefit simply,
Right.
and it's going to be much more clear and clear as time goes by. But then, just like Bitcoin 5 years ago, it was less than $100 or less than like a $200 something. But now it's so expensive. It's like over $50, $50,000, right?
Right, right, right,
So it's late. It's late.
right.
So when everything's changed, when everybody already believes that this thing is working, then
It doesn't have
we
the
are
same,
late.
right, we're too late. Right, right.
Yeah. And to be early, we have to understand that the social norm is going to change quite slow, and we have
Sure.
to be there much before, much ahead of time. Otherwise, we cannot,
You
have much
need
benefit.
a lot of forbearance and you need a lot of mental strength to
Yeah, it's
invest
the
and maintain in that.
belief.
Yeah.
You have
But
to
in
believe
belief,
that it's gonna
it's
happen.
and you have to be very in the know about those kind of systems and the fluctuations of those systems. What was your